G'day, welcome, Mailbag Preview Show, episode 308, we reckon. Thanks for joining us as we fire up for the good races. We've got Group 1 Weight for Age racing back. It's almost spring, footy finals. They are finally here after what was just another complete own goal with a fourth grade side playing the Suns last night. The Dogs had to go to training. If they haven't copped enough heat, they had to go and roll around Whitten Oval yesterday, poor bastards.
When did the first beer get cracked by a Bulldogs player? Was it quarter time or half time?
After King kicked his second, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, full credit to you, Pratty, one of the 65 people in Australia that watched it live.
I did not watch it live.
The racing really is starting to heat up. We've got good racing in Sydney and in Melbourne. This show's going to predominantly focus on the Melbourne racing at Caulfield, the Heath, with the rail and the true. There was a stack of rain predicted earlier in the week, not as much now. Mickey Gannon has sent in a set of prices, and Peter's got opinions on the up and coming at Rosehill, which is race 6. We'll get to that later. Pistols with us, Sneaky Pete, Hutcho. 1 from 1 yesterday, just really let rip at one there at Belmont, big boy.
Yeah, it was the first winning bet I've had all month, so that was good. If anyone wanted to know how wet it's been in Perth this year, it's obviously the wettest winter they've ever had. But just go back and watch the replay of race 6 yesterday from Belmont, where the horses disappeared into the turn. Macaulay was calling them like, they're black figures there on the turn, and how would you know? How would you know? He got the winner wrong, and I don't blame him, to be honest. I didn't know what it was coming up the inside from last. Incredible stuff. So it's been a good... If it was TB, he would have retired, I think, mid-race. He would have been, I've had enough of this shit. But no, it's been a good winter to be playing very, very slow and steady. But hopefully we get some fine weather, finally.
Where are we at on the weekend? Belmont again?
Belmont again. It's actually a fine forecast, which is the first time I think I've said that in about 6 weeks. So, yeah, a bit of rain forecast Saturday morning in Melbourne and strong winds. So I think Caulfield's looking like the tricky meeting weather-wise. And there's fine weather in Sydney as well, which is just, bizarre.
MJ, Michael Pratt, slow, left arm, medium from the pavilion end. How you going, big boy?
Good, mate. Haircut this morning, beard trim, bit of manscape going on. It's a good day to be alive. Going in.
Pay someone to buzz cut that.
Yeah, I did. Yep. What do you think? Have they done an okay job?
Have you faded that yourself?
No, I didn't fade it myself. They trimmed my hair for me, came back, clipped the beard, and feeling up and about, ready for a good weekend's racing, mate. It's good.
Now, joining us off the back of a really good episode of The Early Crow on Monday. You got it Tuesday. Go and listen to it if you missed it. Now, I'm telling you now, the man is just revving like... Basically, you got 3 individuals that don't do much, that are just sort of fronting up whenever. Yeah, we can do 10, we can do 11, we can do 12. We moved it around to get this guy on. He's been fighting and boxing and wrestling and kicking all morning. His blood's pumping. He's fit and he's strong and girthy. And he's PharJack Jenkins, my man. Welcome to the Mailbag Preview Show.
Oh, good to be here. Good to be here. I tell you what, let's not fucking beat around the bush. If the sheets are hot this weekend like they were yesterday, the Mailbag boys are going to be on. And it is great racing, so let's just get into it.
Yeah, Caulfield, we'll start there. Rail true, soft 5 currently pistol. Rain was heavily predicted sort of today, which is Thursday, good rain Friday, and then rain during the meeting on Saturday, on Wednesday. Now, you tune in on Thursday morning, there's no rain today, there's some rain tomorrow, and there's no rain predicted on Saturday. It's fucking tricky.
Yeah, it is tricky. Look, we'll get a lot more information sort of tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon. There's a chance of some rain Saturday morning, but it'll clear up during the day, but there's really strong winds forecast. So I suspect they'll hold off watering the track. I don't know any of this, but I'm just expecting they'll probably be very cautious watering it. And if not much rain hits, then there's every chance of the track being, genuinely good just with the wind around. So, yeah, really difficult meeting. Real difficult meeting.
Now,
we'll see.
On top of how difficult that is, guys, this is a genuine, you cop that. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential, that crap. This is genuine. Chances are this meeting's going to be fucking really tricky because of what Peter said. But also, this meeting, like it is every year just about pistol, there is a significant amount, much more than normal, of horses that are first up and resuming. which makes it really tricky to know where they're at in the prep and where they might be ridden in a map.
Yeah. Did Lindsay Bowles forecast there was... Did he say 80 runners that had
So 86 first
86 runners first up or coming off a freshen up? That's pretty staggering.
He said, like, 160 tapes, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a work.
The man that does the trials, the man that found the horse that got nabbed on the line by Yamashita's Gold yesterday, that we doubled down on at, like, $25.
Crook.
The as a punting spectacle, you're definitely going to have to be wary. But as a racing spectacle and as a racing fan, this is as good as it gets this early in the season. You got the Memsie, 11 runners, 10 of them Group 1 winners, 25 Group 1s between them. The McNeil, genuinely any of those 3, 4, 5 could go on to be stallions if they have a big spring here. So it is a huge card for being a racing fan.
Yeah, I think the sort of my advice is if you're just a hobbyist sicko, halve your stakes, survive the day, and don't blow yourself up heading into spring. If you're an aspiring form analyst, dive into the form, make some notes, do your work, and then really rip into the review. It's a meeting that you'll gain a heap of information out of. You can identify and nail the track pattern, which very likely evolves through the day with the winds and if any rain comes, but what is where you want to be at the start of the day is likely not going to be where you need to be at the end of the day. And if you can nail your review out of this meeting, I think you can make a fair bit of money through the month of September. We'll kick off, guys, in the McNeil, which is race number 6. It's a 1,200 metre Group 3 for the 3-year-olds. The market P-Rat looks like that, which sees sort of 420 the field with Devil Knight, Vin Rock, Tycoon Star, Jimmy Ricard sort of owning it. Magor is thereabouts, just in single figures. Then you've got Sunakirk, Express Class, you know, the lower end of the teens. The speed here I thought's really tricky, and you've got to sort of factor in that it's race 6. Now we've got a bit of an idea about where this bias is or if there's lanes and who wants to get where. We've got smart riders on very valuable horses. Vin Rock, I think, is your leader from best of the best, with Devil Knight thereabouts, but it's first up. Jimmy Ricard, sort of midfield. Duke Aphrodis, good luck if I got that wrong. It's
Duke Atreides.
Duke Atreides, there we go. Duke Atreides. Ricky's laptop. It's just in behind the speed. High Vol for Far's man Nick Ryan, riderless. You'd assume they're not running, but it's Nick Ryan, so you don't assume anything. Sunakirk just worse in midfield, buried the fence. Express Class, who was very good for us, winning at a big price. Cotton King at Sandown was good again at Caulfield, back with Tycoon Star. And I think Magor, first up, is likely to be ridden cold. Has anyone got any views here before I rip through it?
Personally, I'm on Vinrock. I have spoken to his track rider, and apparently he has come back in great form. He's a Vinny, so you expect as a Vinny he's going to be much better. I think he was Vinny's first ever 2-year-old Group 1 winner. Is that right? I could be wrong there, but I think he was. And he's come back. He's going to be better as a 3-year-old, already a Group 1 winner. 1,200, he's a ball of muscle. It might be a bit short of his best, but I'm happy to see how the track plays. And if it's anywhere near on pace, I'm going to be on Vinrock.
Cotton King,
Especially Winkers
really
on.
the
Fuck,
trials.
that's a big push.
Big trials, 8 out of 10. Zara Sticks, I've got him with 2 good ratings, but both at 1,400 metres, which is the chink for me. I can't get him near the price that he is, although very scared now of what Far is saying. But I just think in a hot race, fresh, 1,400 metre horse, it certainly fits the mould of what I was sort of talking about at the start of the day. It might kick their heads in, but it's not a horse I'd want to get stuck into at the price with its profile. Peter, any thoughts there?
No thoughts for me. The wind is going to be a huge factor there on the weekend. Wait and see how strong it is on the day, and obviously I'm just going to be nailed to the fence in the back parade area and just seeing who's fit and who's not. So it's been pretty good of late, just laying a few horses. Back and winner's been a little bit trickier, but there's been plenty of favourites I've been happy to take on, so we'll see what condition some of these are in.
What are the tactics on the 60 kilometre an hour day? Wins there, Pete. You've got the bin at Flemington, which is your friend, because you can go on either side of it depending on which way the wind's blowing or the rain's coming in. What's the Caulfield setup for you after you've viewed him out the back and then trying to stand and watch the race? Where do you usually hide for cover?
Southwest are hitting the course. I'll get back behind the grandstand. So yeah, I'll be there just on the back screen, the rear screen, all by myself.
If that Southwester comes, Peter, what do you think it does to them?
I think it pushes them along out of the chute, so it will almost be coming across them, so it'll push along the leaders. But then I think horses that will be breezing, even 3 wide, no cover, they're going to be sheltered from that wind early. And if they're just patient enough going into the straight, I reckon they'll get the best chance. So I'm looking for horses on speed, but drawn a little bit wider out of the chute.
Yeah, which is why I think this race is almost unbettable, because horses like Devil Knight loses McD and gets Blake Shin on, but from a really tactical draw, like he could go forward, he could go back. It's very hard to predict, and with the wind. I think Tycoon Star and Jimmy Ricard both get trickier setups than they had last start. Tycoon Star's a horse I've got a lot of time for, but Mark Zara doesn't. He's off, and Mick D goes on, which scares the absolute shit out of me from a wide draw, lack of sort of tempo versus these. High vol riderless, again, a 1400 metre horse. I think McGaw's won $1 million race, but hasn't done a lot at the same time. It needs to sort of step up here, and it's priced like they don't know what to do with it, Pete. I thought the 2 horses that were over the odds in the early markets are Son of Kirk, who was very good, I thought, last start when not suited, and has got a scopy profile, and same story, Express Class. But again, if I could get $15 about one of them, I'd have a bet. I think $12 and $9, it's sort of, I feel like I'm half forcing it. So at this point in time, I'm going to let race 6 run around without us. And
Roger that.
Race 7, boys. I don't know what it's called. Let me get that up. It's called the
Henley Holmes Heath over 1100.
The Heath over 1100. It's a pretty hot Group 3. We've got some Guineas winners. We've got some really fast Sydney horses. We've got some progressive Queenslanders. We've got really progressive, like sort of Tropicus of this race. We've got See You in Heaven, first up, new stable, now in the Yulong Silks, and we've got She's Bulletproof, who was enormous this track, I think, and Trip when it got beat by Jimmy Starr. I think Zarasto, Marzu, and Tiger Shark are the horses that go forward. Airman's trialled enormous, thereabouts. Tropicus should go forward. Boston Rocks, thereabouts. Outback Miss probably gets the most likely run of a winner, and with options from a good draw. Arkansas Kid, Pete, I reckon they'll be sort of third pair, maybe 3 wide cover, which you're saying is not going to be too bad. I think She's Bulletproof probably gets it back. Von Hawk, See You and Evan, Feroce, Celsius Star, back and sort of buried some of them. The market for this race, boys, which is what's it called?
The Heath, bruh.
Righto, so the market here has got Zarasto 460. We've got Outback Miss 750, She's Bulletproof 650, Arkansas Kids 650, Marzu $6. That price will change big time, Pete, because that's priced on the rain that was predicted Wednesday. If it's a heavy 8 or 9, then he's right in this race, but if it's not, he's probably out of it. I thought this race was almost harder than race 6, and I don't really know where to go with it. Has anyone got a view here?
Yeah, if they're out and wide and you see any intent from Shin in the race before from that wide gate, I think Arkansas Kid's the bet off last start, isn't it? I just think there was a lot of people critical of Shin last time they ran around at Caulfield, and I don't know if he's that bloke with the chip on his shoulder, but I think he'll be out to try and make amends on that. And I think if Arkansas Kid settles any closer in run than it did to Pop Award maybe goes on with it and kicks on and still wins, but I think you see that horse running a little bit closer than the 1.2 lengths that it was beaten on that day. And I think if it's the 3 wide line is all good, if they're making runs down the outside, I think it's one of 3 or one of 4 horses that have had a start within the last 21 days or less. It's on the 2-week back up at a place that it loves to run at. I think Shin sticks, and to be honest, I think it just wins if that 3 wide line running around is all good.
Yeah, can't knock it. What did you make of Zarasto, Pete? You were doing the form pretty heavily when it was running around in Queensland. It started $17 around second to Jolly Star.
Yeah. Look, I think for the most part, that was more the track pattern on the day. You basically had to be on speed. So I think that was a very suitable race for Zarastro up there. Whether or not that forms like the elite sort of sprinting form, I guess you could say that Jolly Star is very good, but the other runners out of the race haven't done much so far, so I'm probably a little bit cold on that form coming back down to Melbourne, but we'll wait and see.
Far, any views here?
Yeah, look, I've just got one horse I'm keeping my eye on here, and that is the 4-year-old Feroce, the Australian Guineas winner. Look, I can't place the 1100 for him, but he first up at Caulfield 1200. He has won before. I'm trying to figure out what Dom's angle is here. I think maybe the fading run in the Australian Cup over 2,000 metres, maybe they think he is a 1400, 1600 metre horse, and that's why they've brought him in here for the 1100 first up. So depending on how the race plays, I might have a little dabble here on Feroce at that price, but definitely very keen to just watch.
I think the missed opportunity here is New York Luster, like a quick back up, not suited, held up key stages against Oak Hill and Co last week, and now here it is, drawn sweet. No, hang on, still got colours on top of it. So,
do you want some shattering news? It is scratched. It has literally just been scratched in the last half hour.
I don't know, but it really interested me as a quick back-up horse, an 1100 metre horse. I think there's only a few here that really truly want 1100. I think Arkansas Kid's one of them. I think She's Bulletproof's one of them, but the trial report is poor, and I think therefore you sort of got to go against it. I thought that Airman's really interesting. I want to have sort of another go at the race and look at it again. Same story, Tropicus. They're the two that sort of at big prices I could really think about having a whack at. So I'm at this point in time, I'm just dodging the whole race, but I'm interested in Airman, I'm interested in Tropicus, and I've got a lot of time for Arkansas Kid, but they're probably on two sides of the coin, Pete. Arkansas Kid, wetter the better. The other two I'd like to see softer to good.
What about the trial report for Outback Miss?
Poor.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
So you can sort of get rid of it and get rid of She's Bulletproof off the trials a little bit. You can get rid of She's Bulletproof, I think, off the map as well. And again, it's race 7, so we know what this track's doing by now. We know Airman's going to be sort of in that running line, and probably behind it's going to be Arkansas Kid. I think those two, particularly with Tropicus, they're the ways I'd look to bet it if I bet it.
What do you do, Dicko, with a rider like Anne Jones coming down and riding Caulfield probably for the first time? I mean, we saw Pete last week, and I don't want to bring up the war, but Ryan Maloney, interesting ride on Golden Boom. Like, how much weight do you put on a horse that obviously she's ridden Sarastro before, but what weighting do you put in a jockey coming down to Caulfield for the first time? How much do you pen it?
Big time.
Yep.
Like, she's playing like 3rd grade and this is 1st grade. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just going to town, it's going to Melbourne. It's Melbourne and Sydney's, you know, the riding ranks are a lot better than they are in Queensland and then in Adelaide. Right now, it's quite a nice map if it was a rider you trusted, and obviously betting in Victoria for a living, I don't know her that well and I don't trust her, therefore, you know.
Yeah.
I can't savage the horse, but I sort of am at the same time. The trial wasn't bad and it wasn't good, but it was more a tick over. This horse has a bit of sort of residual fitness on its side, Peter. That's race 7, guys. Race 8 is it's a hot little race, this thing. What's this race called, guys?
The Cockram Stakes.
The Cockram. We've got Group 1 winners galore here too, and we've got some sneaky sort of Caulfield form. We've got very progressive horses like Pop Award. Should we start with a speed map here for the Cockram? Speed here is hard to predict, but it looks genuine. Rotar Ataki fresh, should go forward, don't know. Stable and jockey going awful. Thalas. Peter?
Thalassus.
Drawn wide, awkward last start off, no trials. Comes here, flary behaviour. Think it has to go forward. Another profit shouldn't, might. Magic Time's going to get a good run from 6. GG's Myth Truth has got SPs that make it really relevant here. Gets a lovely run from 5. Gerringong Gay is going to be thereabouts. Damask Rose, I reckon, could be sort of 2nd pair of the fence, but it's likely to be 3rd pair of the fence. Manal thereabouts from a good draw. I think GG's Magic and Manal are the map horses. Danny St. Darcy are bounding wide-ish. Is that where we want to be? We find out through the day. Mr. Mbini, Marble Arch go back with Dollar Shot, Stretton Angel thereabouts, and what this young bloke does on Pop Award, God, if he exists, he wouldn't be sure. I don't know what's going to happen at all. The market here, fellas, is a little bit more tempting, I think. We've got Magic Time 390, and I think deserves to be right at the pointy end. Mr. Mbini 550 with that tricky map. I think the hole in the market is Gerringong, 750s best around. Craig Williams rides for Gay. It's not a combination, I think, that suit each other. One wants to be really aggressive, one loves cover and cuddles. And I don't know where it's going to get in run. I don't think it's going to lead. I thought it was a really interesting race. The two horses that really, really interest me are Magic Time and McNeil. Hopper Ward, I'm just going to cuddle. I think it's really, really talented. But the map scares the shit out of me. Far, you got a view here?
Oh, Dicko, you fired me up because I'm looking at McNeil. I'm looking at McNeil and I'm going. Forgive last campaign. The three runs last prep. It's run into Lady Camelot and Lady Shenandoah each time. So hot tempos. They've gone hard. McNeil looked good in all those races. She's 3 lengths off Lady Shenandoah in those races, and I don't think there's better form coming out of anywhere than those races. So even if you go, maybe we can get her to a little bit better form. You go, she's not going to run against those top line Lady Shenandoah here. The map is great. I'm keen on McNeil. But again, I'm really excited. I just finished training, but don't take that as a launch into it. But hearing you say you like the map just gives me a little bit more confidence there.
There's a few horses I really like here. They are Magic Time, Manal, Pop Award. I love Miss Rambini. I think it's quite scopy. Stretton Angel's got grouse form with good SPs. But Stretton Angel, Rambini, their maps aren't sexy at all. We need a lot of boxes to be ticked for them to be sort of players here. Whereas Magic Time and Manal are just going to be thereabouts in the zone, and if they get the luck and they go to where we think they're going, they're both trialled super, I think.
And I like D Lane on too. D Lane on this on Manal.
The chink with Magic Time, Pete's the glue-on shoes again.
Yeah, what do you make of that?
Well, when I did this race, a little bit less than I'm thinking now because I thought it was wetter. I think I'm on the run here, just getting keener and keener to back Manal. And I'll probably have something Marble Arch just in case it jumps out of the ground.
D-Lane's a big push to go up to Sydney. I'm not sure 100% what he was up there for, but for that last trial and then to be sitting on top here at Caulfield, doesn't it? That's a pretty big push.
And he's a rider that's, you could argue there's no one better than him, but it's a fact that there's other blokes going better than him, and girls.
Yep.
And well, you just know the prize money's coming, the carnival's coming. What will happen is like that wrestler. I've been watching the Vince McMahon thing, and the cream will rise to the top. D-Lane will get to the top and he'll just take all the cash that he deserves. Like Mark Zara will start winning big races. Those sort of blokes capitalise on the cash. And D-Lane's as good as we've got, and he's got a beautiful barrier on a really nice horse here. So I think the reverse of the Angela Jones on Zarastro, you just sort of feel safe and good having a bet here.
If we see Arkansas Kid come out and win from midfield, worse than midfield, how much would you wind in the price on Pop Award, given it is a little bit stickier with a little bit more speed in this race? But how much are you winding in Pop Award if Arkansas Kid comes out and blows them away in the race?
I'd probably just wind the race off and turn it off. So if the chink there, I reckon, Pete, is that if Pop Award runs huge, it's going to tow in Miss Rambini or the other way around.
Yep, that makes sense to me.
Very similar profile of you don't know where their ceiling is just yet. I think it'll favour on-pace horses out of the chute just like it normally does, and I think that horse is Magic Time on Manal. Righto. The Group 1,
Bang.
weight for age, 1,400 metres. We're back. This is a proper race with it, like one of the great fields. It's funny, I haven't heard anywhere this week, Peter, anyone hanging shit on Racing Victoria. I wonder why. Maybe they're going okay. Mr. Brightside, Tom Kitten, Antino here to shock. Buckaroo, another Will Pinstriped. Is it me who's a sneaky? Fangirl Zardozi treasures the moment. Amazing field. Another Will 460. Fangirl 550. Antino, Mr. Brightside 650 each. Longer the rest. Speed here is interesting to tricky. There's horses like Pinstripe that when you map in a race, you just flush them out the back. Then you look, he's got blinkers on after being really good first up. Then you look again and you go, fucking hell, Enver, calm down. Blinkers first time, a Group 1 winner. Is he saying it's going no good or it's ready to win? Let's just make sure it does. Don't know. We'll find out. I think Here to Shock leads Treasure the Moment, who will let it go, and it'll lead Solo Here to Shock. Another Will thereabouts. Brightside has to roll forward. Antino, I don't know what Blake will do. I'd say he just tags Brightside and Willow sort of dictates what Antino does. Zardozi does that to Antino. think Fangirl and Tom Kitten off good trials will be like midfield or better, right where they need to be. If it's been on pace, expect them to settle that little bit closer. If it's running on, they'll be a little bit colder. Is It Me will tag one of those two and come out with them, and Buckaroo will be out the back with pin striped. Who's got a view here? Because it's a very hot race.
I've got a question. Do you really think Treasure of the Moment will just let Heath Shot go and control it at the front? Like, does this not set up perfectly for that horse to tick a 1400 metre Group 1 off early in the campaign? If you can give me a trial report from what Lindsay said and a jump out report, do you reckon there's an opportunity that they just send it, try and get a 1400 metre Group 1 under the belt, and it just fattens up the page even more?
Yeah, but this isn't just a cheap Group 1, man. This is like the Angela Jones of the horses. The last time Treasure of the Moment raced against a bloke, it was a benchmark 70 at Sandia. Like, this horse has been placed to perfection. Very, very good. Done a great job. But this is like... It's going from the minor leagues to the major leagues.
Yep.
And
if you're saying the map's soft, though, and there's potentially only one other leader, does it not set up a great opportunity with D-Lane Book to do something special?
I think he'll take a sit behind Here to Shock, and he'll have another will end up outside him.
Yeah, okay.
I think Here to Shock is a huge price, and he's overs. It's got a bit of
that's interesting.
Got race fitness on its side. Way too slow last start. They would have been filthy on the tempo. They get to control their destiny here. They know, surely, if they sit and sprint versus another horse that they train, or Antino, or Fangirl, or another will, they're going to get their heads kicked in. But if they stretch these little fuckers first up, get them off the bit, I don't know. I like it. I love Here to Shock here. I think it's a huge price. I think another will's bang on. I could make him shorter than he is. He loves his track and trip. He's sharp enough for the 1400. There's a few here that aren't, like Zardozi. Antino's not done anything of note under 600 metres these last two preps, and these last two preps have been elite. Not knocking them, but I think he's better over the mile. Buckaroo, same story. I think Fangirl and Here to Shock are the big prices in this race in both bets, along with Pinstripe. I'm going to back all three. Here to Shock, Fangirl and Pinstripe. What do you think, Pistol?
I mean, look, without delving too much into the form, because I'm going to be looking at how these horses parade, but another Will's like SP profile, last preparation and won first up in the CF4, which is the same track and distance, same conditions, seems to draw perfect. Probably should have gone closer in the All-Star Mile, I think that's fair to say. And then obviously went up for the Doncaster. Doesn't he just tick every box imaginable for this race? I think he looks big price.
Is he a horse that has just improved prep to prep to prep? Like, he just keeps getting better, and there's a chance that we maybe haven't seen the best of him yet?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I'd be very, very wary. Like, his first up form is just elite. What is he, 3 from 4? And the one time he didn't win was on debut when he ran second. Big flashing light over that horse for me.
So, here you go. If you like another Will's profile, go back 2 preps. First up, it jammed us in the Danustar when it started $3.30 versus $6 Here to Shock. This track and this trip, baby.
I would say another Will's improved since then, though.
No, I'm not. I am saying another Will's probably the most likely winner of this race. But at the prices, I want to whack Here to Shock. I think it's juicy price.
Dicko, you and I know him well. What the fuck's Dan Bowman doing putting Is It Me in here? Is this just the sneakiest of sneaky operations from him, or what?
Oh, he's got 3/4 sleeves back on, which is helpful, because if you watch this horse's run last start in Adelaide, slaughtered, awful. You'd assume our man DJ just sort of setting it up to spike here. He's going to get a lovely run from 2. He's in the lap of the gods a little bit with how the race is and how the track is by now. Can we be rails in run and be super competitive, or is it a setback? I think he can tag another Will, be inside a sort of Fangirl, Tom Kitten, and he's a horse with like 3 or 2 really big and genuine ratings at Flemington, Peter. So I trust them. There's going to be fossils out there that say he's poorly placed, which is fair, but you're going to get a huge price, and I'm going to have him in a quaddie.
Yeah,
it's one of those races, isn't it? Like, sitting back watching, you're not going to. Usually, you're looking for the pink, or you're just going to be looking everywhere. There's going to be no spot in this race where you're not just trying to cover the whole field.
And this gets back to what we were saying at the start. It's just a beautiful day and meeting to just thoroughly review. Like, you just rewind and watch this race one horse at a time, sort of thing. I think it's a great race. I think Pinstriped was enormous first up from a very unsuitable spot. On its day, very, very capable. I just don't know what's going to tow it in, Peter. Like whether, like, is it going to get behind Azar? If it was drawn 7, I'd have a good whack at it too. I'll definitely be having something on, but I just think it's going to have to sort of be 7 wide and do it all its own way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was quite happy to follow that horse off the parade first up, but needed a gate and didn't get it. And this field's arguably harder than what I anticipated as well. So, yeah, I think that's a really good point. What was the trial report on Tom Kitten? Because he's obviously changed stables. First up, last prep, he just missed on the line against Brightside, which was in the Futurity. Same track and distance.
Just an 8 out of 10. 2
Okay.
hot trials. First sharp, strangled behind Tropicus Isthmus. Through line so good. Latest back and very light ride to the line. It's what it's what we need and it's what we deserve. It's a beautiful race where the superstars kick off their springs, and full credit to everyone involved.
Kanga.
Great man.
It'll be good. I'll be. I don't know what the wind's doing, but I'll be in the committee room with Kanga. It's not very windy up there.
I might come up. We need to get him to take over the AFL.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Righto, so that's the Memsie, the Group 1 weight for age 1400. Far, what are you doing in this race?
Yeah, look, I'm really keen on Fangirl. Look, I obviously don't have the chops of the form like you boys do, but I just think first up, 1400 absolutely suits. If she gets a little bit too far back, it's going to be hard, I think, to blast past him. But first up, I reckon maybe the last 2 years, both spring and the autumn, every time I watch Fangirl first up, I turn around from the TV and say to whoever's next to me, she's going to win everything. Yeah. She just looks so good to the eye.
And the forecast just keeps improving for her. The drier, the better. And on Wednesday afternoon, it's sort of like probably going to be a heavy track. Poor old Uncle Chris. I really feel sorry for Uncle Chris and the Inghams, but that's how powerful they are. They can stop the rain. So
yeah,
the only chink with Fangirl is the first go Caulfield.
Yeah. Do you think that she's a horse that's just not going to suit because it's a little bit on pacey or what?
I think my fears are, somewhat taken care of by the King Kong sitting on her back and just caressing her around the bend there. Like, if I ever am lucky enough to have a horse like her and she goes somewhere that I'm a bit unsure if she knows how to do corner here and get on the right leg, well, I want Mark Zara to do it. So,
I mean, she probably should have placed a Cox Plate at the Valley, so I'm not too concerned about her going that way.
Would have won it.
Yeah.
No, I just mean,
Love it.
the old Caulfield first time pistol. I'm just trying to find a chink in her armour. I think her and Another Will are the prices they are, and they should be, because they are the sharper horses versus the Antino Brightside Tom Kittens. Like they're the horses that you're not 100% sure are they 14 or 600 metre horses, whereas Brightside you're not sure if he's a 600 metre or a 2,000 metre horse sort of thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Boys, that's Caulfield done and dusted with Heath. Any other bets out wide at Caulfield before we move to Rosehill and the up-and-coming stakes?
The mailbag.com.au buy Dicko's rated prices service and then cap it off with Pistols Mounting Yard. That is my bet for Saturday and each and every Saturday in Victoria.
Let us hold your hand through 10 of the best there at the Heath. I'll be out there, hopefully. Might even sort of lean over and just say, Pistol, just pen this thing, can you? Come on. I don't know. It might flare up. Might be drinking. It won't be drinking because the trains aren't working. I'll be driving.
Are there no trains?
Buses replacing trains, I was told yesterday, which is a huge setback. And shout out to Dan Andrews, whoever's running this state. Be better. Triggering people.
Put Kanga in charge of the trains and trams. Yeah. They'll be smooth. We'll be like Japan.
We need to just clone Kanga.
Yeah. The more of him, the better.
Let's go to Rosehill. I got no idea what the track's doing, and I don't need to, because Pistol's on the work and Gano's all over it, and we believe, reports are allegedly, that some are saying the most powerful, valuable small forward in the AFL in the last 10 to 20 years has surfaced. He is alive, he has survived, and T. Papley might be back. He's flirting with even attending one of these meetings next week. So chance he's on the early crow next Monday. We don't know, but we've heard from him. He has survived yet another post-season. and we can't wait to hear from him. He's done this race too, but he didn't know what he wanted to do at this stage, so we lent on Gano. We're going to talk to Pistol. It's the up-and-coming stakes. It's race 6, Rosehill. It's a 1,300-metre Group 3 for the 3-year-olds.
Yes, indeed. Well, in terms of the track, it's currently a soft 6, and it's only fine weather in Sydney, which I don't think anyone said in about 8 years' time. So it'll probably be, a soft 5. Strong south or moderate southwesterly forecast. We'll see if that impacts on the day, but yeah, it should be actually a real nice day to be betting in Sydney, which is fantastic.
They deserve one.
Speed map wise, Crown the King leads. Aerodrome drawn 6 will take time to muster, but eventually will settle outside the leader. 60s from 4. I'm sure Zach Lloyd will just poke it up early and just make sure Aerodrome has to do a little bit of work to cross, but then should land in the 1-1. And then you've got Grand Prairie, Providence, and Fermoy ruffling off the next 3 spots. I think Tyreek just drops out last because it was slow away on debut at Canterbury. So that's your speed map. I think they go moderate. Look, 60s is the horse that looks to get into the perfect spot, all things considered. Big spike win, demolishing a field their last start on a heavy track. I think there will be some people who will gravitate towards that victory on the Kenzo and just go, right, well, this rating's just clearly better than a lot of the others in the field. But for me, doing the form from a numerical point of view and then going, well, logically, if that's the big spike performance on the heavy deck and it's going to be a soft 5 all of a sudden, I have to just go a little bit cold on it. I don't know if you guys have run the numbers at all, but that's what I'm looking at from a form perspective. So 60s, currently what, $3.80, $4?
Well, $4.80, but that's with Central Coast in. Is that coming out?
Yeah, that's out. That's confirmed out now. So you're getting $4.20 best across the corpse. I've got the horse marked $3.80, so I'm not penning it. I'm also not jumping out of trees to back it. I'm looking at the rest of the field. Providence, I can't quite get to this price at $4.20, but I thought that trial suggested, and J-Mac back on, looked like a horse that had just improved and matured a fair bit. That trial, he asked it to do it a little bit and responded. So I think with that stalking draw, we'll get to see probably the best of that horse this preparation. I just don't know if it'll be first up. And I thought the runner that the market might come towards is Tyreek. Best of the day performance and figure at Canterbury on debut after being slow away and coming through the field. I thought it was a really nice win. Probably the trick here is the map, and you just want to see the conditions on the day, but probably getting back towards last, let's say, it's going to have to be a very smart, sharp ride from Gibbons to either take his time and pick his way through the field, or they'll need to be able to make ground out wider. And look, Rosehill Rail 3, you probably just want to make sure that that's the case and stop playing 2 inside. So Rosehill. I don't know.
Bit of head-to-head action there. UV Gunner, he is all over 60s. He's got a fitness edge, a map advantage, and the last start figure's big, as he said, but it stacks up against recent times, that track and trip. So, it's Pistol v Gunner, Rosehill, race 6, the up-and-coming stakes. Gunner's with 60s, Pistols with Tyreek, and that's been the guts of what is the Mailbag Preview Show, episode 308, brought to you by puntingform.com.au. It's the world's greatest database. It's the one I use and you should too. Pistols all over it. Don't forget, we've got shares available right now in Umgawa, trained by David Butch Bourne out of Seymour, along with Melissa Page, and there's about 25% left in Umgawa, who's a nice Wednesday, Saturday horse every day of the week. He's outstanding, he looks good, feels good. He's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. You can get shares for just about nothing if you email Jono, Jono at themailbag.com.au. Round the grounds, boys. Flary stuff from L Bowls. Caulfield race 7, Airman. Pratty, surprise, surprise. You've decided to go to Adelaide again.
100%.
City of Cheche.
Shock.
Back to the scene of the crime. It's meant to fucking pour rain in Adelaide the next 2 days. I think they're getting 25 mil tomorrow, and then there's up to 10 mil on race day. Race 4, number 1, what a deal. Outside barrier, a little bit of a concern, but we saw it go forward from a wider gate last week. I think they'll do the same here with a rock hard fit horse. It beat horses in the race that are running against Flashing Steel and was running away from it late. It was the meeting fastest last 1200, but more importantly, last 200 and 100 were the 9th and the 8th fastest, and he was easing up on the line. It is a little bit scary up 1.5 kilos, but Opperman sticks and gets off Brave Star, which I backed last time against that short price favourite when you were on Merchant Boss Dicko, Sav on Ice. I think that's the one that scares me in the race if it's on pace and on rail. I think Taylor Johnson will just go nuts and lead and kick off the bend. But yeah, I'm very keen on What a Deal, especially at the moment at 4.40. I think it crunches. I think it starts closer to $3 than 4.40, so very keen.
You big Flesman, he's doing a bit of form Adelaide, and doing the form's hard enough, but he's also doing the form on the bomb. Jono's all the way from a baseball game in America. He said Caulfield, race 8, number 2, Magic Time. He doesn't give a shit about glue on shoes. He loves them. Mailbag Bloodstock's only got one runner this weekend. It's a last start winner. It's Caulfield, race 10, number 11, Windstorm, each way. Is a bet, genuinely is a bet. Butch is going against us. He's Caulfield, race 10, number 10, Sapels, who's well placed off hot trials. Rob Scurry, Robertos, the Horse Whisperer, Rosehill, race 1, number 1, Be Real, brah. It's just called Be Real. Paps has flared right up. Caulfield, race 5, the Heatherly, number 6, Kingswood for Jesus, Gavin Bedgegood. Gano, as we said, is with 60s in race 6 at Rosehill. My best is in race 1 and also in race 5. It's Whiskey on the Hill each way. Back him in both. He'll scratch out a 1. You get a return there, so you're guaranteed to get something back. But I think he'll run a huge race. That's Whiskey on the Hill. Caulfield, race 6, Vinrock, as far said, into race 9, number 9, Fangirl for our man. And then Peter, you flared up. You said, fuck the ponies, not interested. I'm not going to force it. I'm going to do some football. I'm going to get ahead of it. And you're off the Giants. You're all over the Hawks. Why?
Yep. The Hawks will start favourite, I'm convinced. It's just a matter of time. The line's already just closing in as well, so you can back them for both. I think they're a far more consistent team than the Giants. Full stop.
Some injury trouble too at the Giants.
Yep.
What was there?
Well, that's pretty well publicised. They won't get Hogan back in any kind of form, will they? And who else are they missing? Some Fireball. Listen to Fireball. They're better at it than me, but there are some injury concerns.
Don't get beaten by what you know, Far.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get beaten by what you know.
Any other football thoughts before we wrap it up, boys? I know Pratty's a very, very big but quiet most of the time Collingwood supporter.
We're in a bit of strife. No Jeremy
Obviously,
Howe.
Butch can translate and interpret what the Hoinster says, unlike anyone else. He's getting a little bit of lead in the pencil for the Pies to roll the Crows.
Pratty, you want a bit of faith here for Collingwood?
Yeah, I heard your comments on the early crow on Monday, mate. Big J to go back in form.
Was that on air? I thought that was before we started recording. All right, I won't repeat myself then.
Nah, for the Mailbag crew, mate. You got to let them know.
Well, for Collingwood, when Geordie DeGoey is a top 5 player on the ground, are 60-2. And he looks like he's just hit some form last week. So if he can carry that form through any of the finals and be a top 5 player on the ground, history tells you that they will be very competitive.
My concern with all of that is that Jeremy Howe's played every one of those games. I reckon DeGoey's been a top 5 player, and I think he's an integral part of our back line, and we're a little bit fucked when he's not playing. That is my only concern. But it'd be good to go to Adelaide and knock Adelaide off.
On behalf of everyone else, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, go Adelaide.
We'll go out in straight sets and to justify the really old list that he's got. Hey guys, that's been the Mailbag Preview Show, episode 308. Hope you really enjoyed it. Genuinely, gamble responsibly. Do it every week, but especially do it this weekend. Call the hotline 1-800-858-858 if you've got a problem, or visit the website. It's a tricky weekend, but it's a weekend where you can learn a heap. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.